All right.
All right, so we're not going to yell. Thank you for tuning in to the Artemis Channel. Thanks for tuning in to the Artemis Channel's Behind the Bar. Today we're going to be reviewing Teeling Irish Whiskey. Well, let me introduce everybody, as always, with me, Steve. I got my son-in-law, Scott, and over in Montana, we got our buddy, Clem.
I'm over here in Montana.
And what are you wearing here, buddy?
This is my St. Patrick's Day shirt.
You're looking good, kid.
So I think we should get right into it. What do you think?
Absolutely. We're going to do the Teeling small batch, and we have batch SB 96.
So I'll say the first thing I notice is the color. It's not, it's definitely not bourbon, that's for sure. It is like the color of ginger ale. Clem, can you tell us anything about how this is distilled? Do you know anything about it, mash bill or anything like that?
Irish whiskey has been around since the 12th century, which predates Scotch by a couple hundred years-ish. Typically, it grains like barley and malt. Malt is the major component in Irish and Scotch whiskeys, even though you spell whiskey differently in Scotland. Just like bourbon, you have to have 51% corn. Irish and Scotch whiskeys are heavy on the malt, some heavier than others.
So nose, it's really delicate compared to American bourbons. There's a fruit I'm getting, like a pear or apricot maybe.
Yeah, I'm not getting any of the some of the richer, sort of nose sense that you get.
You don't.
From,
you're
a
definitely
bourbon.
not getting the
Very
bourbon
light.
caramel or the, the vanilla, the brown sugars that we get in a lot of the American bourbons.
A little more flowery, more floral, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
What else you got for us?
Irish whiskey was the predominant whiskey until about the 1900s. Just before the 1900s, it started to decline. There were, the Irish Revolution. Shortly after 1900, you had Prohibition. You had a whole bunch of, independence and trade wars, and Scotch started to become a thing. And of course, the Crown in London, they wanted something that wasn't from Ireland. They wanted something of their own, so they started to get into Scotch, which, is some pretty impressive Scotch out there too. Now, we were in agreement when we chose the Teeling that we wanted something a little less than what everybody knows, which everybody knows Jameson, right?
Yeah.
So we were both able to get the Teeling small batch. And what do you think?
I think that the pear or apricot nose that I'm getting, I get that on the front of the palate.
Yeah, very fruit heavy on the palate. What's the finish?
Dried fruit, a little spice.
The finish is predominantly that malted corn, or malted barley rather, with oak.
Yeah, the oak comes out in the end, and a little bit more spice. It's got a good long finish.
I'm going to do what you do. It's not very viscous. It's not very clingy. Fingers and legs, I'm not getting any to speak of. My initial is that if I'm going to choose between this and a really good bourbon, I'm going to choose a really good bourbon 10 times out of 10.
Undoubtedly, but I think this being a an inexpensive bottle of whiskey, I would say it's not as complex as other whiskeys or bourbons. So it's more where we had put Maker's Mark and Buffalo Trace, where it's good and it's enjoyable, but it's not overly complex and it's not expensive.
Yeah, not getting as much burn as you will get on a lot of like other Irish whiskeys. There definitely are ones that very heavy on the burn. This is actually quite smooth compared to a lot of that.
Lower proof on this. You're what, 92 proof, Clement?
Yeah, 46%.
6, yes, so it's 92.
Yeah, 92 proof.
If I'm in an Irish pub and I want to drink an Irish whiskey and I don't want to drink Jameson, I would order this every time. So I guess I would say that I prefer a bourbon to this. I still like this a lot. And certainly where it's time for St. Patrick's Day, this would be my St. Patrick's Day drink of choice.
Okay, until we try others. Now, Teeling in particular is aged in bourbon barrels. The grain alcohol it's typically triple distilled. Most Irish whiskeys are triple distilled in copper pots, and then the grain alcohols and the malt whiskey alcohols, they are aged separately in ex-bourbon barrels. Then they're blended and they're finished in rum casks. That's the Teeling is in particular.
Like I said, it's very pleasant. It's good. It's easy to drink. To Scott's point, there's not a lot of burn.
I agree.
Are we ready to rate it? If I'm giving Maker's Mark and Buffalo Trace in the low 6s, I would rate this below that. And that's not being disrespectful. It's not a bourbon, and I'm a bourbon guy. I like it fine. I would give it a solid 5. I think it's very good.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking too. Is, again, don't drink a lot of like Irish whiskeys. Not usually my go-to. As far as just like complexity of flavor and everything, not as much going on here. Some of the bourbons and things, you get a little bit more of that going on there. Makes it a more interesting experience. This is, very pleasant. It's not, difficult to drink by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah, 5 feels pretty good for me.
Where are you, my Irish friend?
Agreed. I'd put it as a 6. I would call this entry level. And as far as Irish whiskeys go, it's a great starting point. You get into some of the more, how do I want to put it? You get into some of the Jameson Double Black and the Bushmills Black and some of the other higher end without going overboard. We're still sub $100 here. You're going to get more complexity, but this, I would say this is to Irish whiskey as Maker's Mark and Buffalo Trace is to bourbon. So I'm going to call it a 6.
Okay, so we're gonna.
Before you do your cocktail, which is what everybody is tuned in for, is Steve-O's cocktail.
That's not true. People don't care about the cocktail.
I thought just while you were getting prepared for that I would do my Irish whiskey cocktail. Okay.
Are we going to let you do that first, and while you regale us with some story?
We're not. We don't tell stories. We do relay events.
We 100% tell stories. 100%.
So if you will indulge me, then I will make a cocktail, and it's going to be pretty quick and pretty easy. If I can get my equipment ready here.
Got your technique down.
Yes, I can only imagine what he's doing.
There is a particular brand I like called Keeper's Heart, and they do blends, and they do an Irish blend with a bourbon, and it's very good. I recommend that very highly. It's very smooth. So,
Do you have it there with you?
what's that?
Do you have it there?
I have not been able. I can buy it online,
Okay.
but it's nothing that I've been able to find locally. So I'm going to make you a cocktail. Okay, ready?
I just freaking let a giant burp. Yeah.
Okay, so we start with Irish whiskey. All right, is Angie there?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Well, let me ask you. Wait, back up a minute. Back up a minute. Put that down. What is up with the rubber gloves?
I'm mixing a cocktail. I have to get my equipment. You have all of your bar equipment. I have my bar equipment.
Is he kidding me?
Okay, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew.
Dr. Bunsen Honeydew.
Beck just called. I don't know if you can hear.
The cocktail.
Beck just called. No, wait, no, you're not going back to the cocktail. Beck just called you Dr. Bunsen Honeydew.
So, so I have measured out 0.69 of an ounce. So that's 69 thousandths, and that number, Angie, is
69.
there. You go. So that goes in. Okay, and then we take a good bourbon, and again we measure out 69 thousandths. See how much darker it is.
What did you pick for a bourbon?
It is the Old Forester 1870, which I very much enjoy. So that goes into.
This flask.
Okay, so we have our ingredients, okay, and we very carefully. We don't want to bruise it, right?
You don't want to bruise it.
There's our Irish whiskey cocktail, which has Teeling Irish Whiskey and Old Forester 1870.
Whoa! Out of the flask? What's wrong with you? Put it in the glass.
This is for science.
Yes, science.
This is for science, damn it. So this you've got the malt from the Irish whiskey, and you've got the everything else you get from the bourbon, and it's mixed together, and it's a cocktail, and I call it a Pyrex.
A Pyrex. No pontiff, no papacy, no cardinal's conclave.
I'm going to get into that. I was going to do a 406, which was inspired by Angie. She invented a 603 for me, and I took that a little further, and a 406, which we may talk about in the future. So that has Irish cream liqueur.
So, just so we're clear what a 603 is, 603 is the New Hampshire area code, and 603 was 6 ice cubes and 3 shots of bourbon.
And the 406 would be, of course, 4 ice cubes and 6 ounces of Bailey's Irish cream. That's the Montana area code, 406.
Can we get on to the whiskey ginger that we're going to do?
Oh, please. Over to you.
All right, graphic. All right, so this is really difficult. And as I started to say before, Clem went down the rabbit hole and whatever the hell that was. It's awesome. We're going to do 2 shots or 2 ounces of your Irish whiskey in a tumbler with ice, followed by your favorite ginger ale. Pretty difficult. You don't need a lot of work being done here. Okay. Whiskey ginger. Cheers.
I expected you to do a car bomb or something.
It's Unbeatable!
Well, I hate to disappoint you, but this is what we talked about a week ago, and we said this is what we were going to do, so this is what I planned.
Also, it's been a long time since I've done a car bomb. I don't know if I have the strength anymore.
Yeah, so unlike the Boss or the Godfather that we did with the Buffalo Trace and the Amaretto, which was really sweet, and even our Old Fashioned, which really didn't hold up with the Maker's Mark, the ginger ale and the Teeling, it's an excellent mix.
Yeah.
The Teeling comes through, and the ginger ale doesn't overpower it, and yeah, this is good. So, and like I said, we're not making these drinks where, like I said, you watch some of these mixologists and they start sliding out all these ingredients, and you got to go to the store and buy a bunch of that you guys don't have. You're going to have stuff here that you're going to have in the house. It's not a lot to it. So, cheers. Clement, what else you got for us before we sign off?
Clement?
I really can't think of anything else. But it was very enjoyable.
Is that concoction you made?
This is not meth.
Your Pyrex? Is that something that you looked up, or did you just make this up on the spot?
This is a very old family recipe.
An old family recipe. Now
Yes.
we're getting somewhere.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right. It whiskey in a glass. Very old family recipe.
So this is for science. What is your conclusion?
Yes. The conclusion is
All right, you guys have had enough of us tonight. Thank you very much for checking out the Artemis Channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. Please do that for us. And we'll see you guys next time. All right, you can stop recording and we can visit for the remainder of this.